you know, it's not really coming up with an idea for an album. You just create music and then you decide to compile it, you know.
And then an idea kind of like
Based
creeps
on the life of
up
its
on
own.
you.
Yeah,
Well, we wanted to have a theme. You know, most bodies of work that have been done, no matter how great it is, that it wasn't a
Tend to be
connection.
themeless.
Yeah, so we came up with conversation every song, like talking slow and back talking.
Every tune has a title.
It's a thing, right? But
some
it
form of conversation.
has to do with talking, you know, communication, conversations. So.
Okay, so basically, when the creative muse says, let's make a left at the corner, you just go with it.
Yeah.
You know, like say, I was thinking of making that right. Because I guess if you force it, I'm not sure if that's going to be a good thing.
Outside of the vocalists, all the musical work was done by just the two of us.
Okay, so what was the working process like? You guys, did you just work audibly and recording your ideas, or did you record and then write stuff down, or write stuff down?
You know, the way I work in the studio, I do more of my creating right there in the studio. It's not a lot of pre-written stuff. You know? A couple tunes, he would bring ideas and then I'd expound on, you know.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
So you have to be a pretty facile musician to do that, because if you fumble fingers, it's going to cost a fortune doing it that way.
Well, you know, one reason why I love working with him is because we've been playing and just jamming for so long. I mean, we're childhood friends.
Yeah, we're familiar with each other.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And that's another reason why the conversation's name. There's a form of a musical conversation taking place between us, you know, on the CD, and we wanted to emphasize that, you know.
We've been in bands together for years when we'd never really done our own stuff together, so.
Oh, so you guys would show up for rehearsals, and there would be some other sort of give and take with other musicians.
Oh, for sure, for years. I mean, we've done our time on the road, you know, playing in bars and stuff like that. But we have recorded us, you know, separate from the other entity, but we never really decided to do a whole body of work and document it. And we decided it's time. That was the end result.
So is this the beginning of like maybe long-term creative
I'll be playing with him
process?
forever.
We're brothers as well, so you know, you can try not to do this, but the good Lord won't allow it. You know?
Yeah, it calls you back.
Hey, there you go.
You try to step off and say, "I'm gonna defy this."
There was a period of time when we weren't even in contact.
Yeah.
For whatever reasons, and when we reconnected, started right back where we left the house. You know.
So, if you could do anything other than this, is there something else you would rather do?
Count a whole lot of money.
More of this.
Yeah.
More. Give us some more. More. Yeah.
I like the idea of writing for other branches of the media, like movie and film.
Movies and
TV
films.
We've written for other people together as well.
Okay. What do you think of the current state of the music industry? Is it like up? Is it got a direction now, or is it still like bumping around in the dark, trying to figure out what the technology's done to it?
Well, I think it depends on the genre.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a sad state of affairs. You know, when we were coming up, in my opinion, there were songs. Now there's a collection of grooves, you know. And
hold on, I got just happened. A technical issue just popped up. The screen just said, "I think I'll go white."
okay.
What the hell is that?
The screen said, "Bite me."
It just went all white. Hold on, let me stop for a second. I'm on the battery here. See, I'm not sure if that was the problem. So what I will do is plug it into some juice. Where is that? Oh, I unplugged it. Damn it. Technical difficulties. This is the only thing I like about drawing that you don't get is technical difficulties.
Right.
Sometimes the machinery.
Right, your pencil might snap, but it's like no big deal.
Right.
light.
I've got one of those torch-ear lights, but the one I have, when you turn it all the way up, it looks like you're on the sun. I couldn't believe how bright that motherfucker got.
Yeah, I remember when I bought a couple of these, my mom said, those things burn the houses down. You shouldn't get that. I was like, no, that's people that put them under the curtains.
Yeah, right.
I was like, I'm not going to do that. Unplugged something, I don't know what it was, but it's this stuff. This thing's still making noise. It might still be recording.
I think, whereas back in the day, you would need a distributor to do that, and if you didn't have the money to do it, oh well, you know.
Yeah.
But the negative is, like you just said, no record stores. You don't really sell a full CD. They're selling them. You sell songs now, 99 cents a piece. I think is the going rate.
Well, plus to get your music across the globe is only advantageous if they're going to buy it when it reaches their side of the globe.
But they need to be able to hear it.
I understand that,
they want to
but
buy it.
The same idiom they hear it from, they can copy it from. You know?
That's
right.
the double-edged sword.
That's the double-edged sword. When they took the information out of the wax and let it go up there,
Exactly, yeah.
It's a slippery slope.
that did it. Yeah, that did a number, man.
And because of the collapse of record labels and companies,
So
you know, they don't invest in artists and
Yeah.
projects anymore.
I just started a label this morning.
Yeah.
just this morning.
Named it Pancake.
So
The independent market is.
So, an artist is out there in the wilderness on his own, doesn't have any company with deep pockets to
Right,
promote.
there's no big front money check anymore. And
But the plus to that is if you blow up, it's yours. You don't have to share it. You don't have any advances and all that. But did I say if you blow up?
If you blow up.
Right.
plus, to be played in the major radio markets, you still got to have that connect. You know.
Yeah.
Eventually, you gonna run into Don King
Right.
music.
A little payola.
Eventually. Okay.
A little bit
It's
of
just
that payola.
Those with the deep pockets don't invest in artists as they used to.
Yeah.
You know.
I was, and then they have to understand what it is you're trying to do in order to get behind you.
Exactly.
And have that faith, then, you know, so I don't know how anybody really gets through all of that and then comes out on the other side golden, you know.
And then too, I mean,
Isn't cooked.
they're just going with what's proven.
Like the goose.
You know, the hardcore rap and all that.
Yeah. I was looking on the internet at rap in the Twitterverse, and there's a lot of beefing going on in that particular genre of music for
Well,
some
I think those
reason.
beefs often are publicity.
Yeah, because Azalea Banks is beefing with Iggy Azalea over her being an Australian coming over here and getting a big booty implant and looking like Nicki Minaj and smudging out black creativity. So she says, this doesn't happen in other genres of music. It's only in hip hop where they seem like they can't get out of this playground. They're just, you know, stuck in high school.
Yeah, there's certainly a street factor to it. You know?
Yeah, I've been watching rap since the 80s. Mature technically,
Not necessarily.
but idiomatically it's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
stuck and stupid. I mean, anytime a guy
West Coast versus East Coast.
West Coast versus East Coast, they just shot some rapper here in Chicago a couple weeks ago on stage, shot him in the back of the head. He was up there hippity hoppity hippity ho, and it pow right in the back of the head.
Did anybody in Led Zeppelin ever shoot anybody in Pink Floyd?
Think so.
Check your notes on that.
There was a Rolling Stones 2 concert where people got checked out.
But that was with the Hells Angels.
Right. And then there was one I did not go to where they were towing cars and under threat of a machine gun brandishing, you had to pay to get your car back. And that was in the Bay
Anybody from
Area.
the Commodores ever shoot Cool in the game?
No, I don't
No?
think so.
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna check my notes.
Yeah, disco was about love and happiness. You know, it wasn't about ganking somebody and rolling up on them in a stolen car.
And then too, that was a genre where it required an investment.
Yeah.
I mean, those were real strings and stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't no.
One sampled.
Yeah, it wasn't no motif playing violins.
Right.
So, I think when there's an investment, it's taken a little more seriously.
Yeah. And hip hop, I didn't like it at first because I don't like what appeared to me to be not real creativity. I mean, in terms of creating rap as a music, I thought that was cool. But when they would just talk over somebody else's music, I was like, come on.
The age of sampling.
But there's even a concept to that.
Yeah.
And some do it better than others.
Right.
Yeah.
It took me some time to come to that conclusion, but
Yeah.
I hear quality in some of it. However, the mindset is so twisted. It distorts your clear head of just enjoying the music. You know what I mean? Like you think of some names, and the first thing you think of is the beef they're involved in.
Right, right.
It's kind of sad. Kind of sad. There are some talented people in that genre.
Yes, there are.
I look at some of the stuff Jay-Z does, and Tupac was certainly a talented guy.
Oh yeah, Tupac.
Biggie.
Heavy D was a talented guy. I think that they're just talented in everything. Common's a talented fellow, and he's one of the few who raps positively and still gets a deal.
Ice Cube.
Yep, Cube. Yeah, I was like a Cube fan for quite a while there. After he got out of NWA.
Yeah.
NWA I liked, but I wasn't really.
Now, there's certain characters that are just funny to me, like
Yeah.
Flavor Flav. I mean, he's not much of a rapper, but
Oh,
he's
yeah.
just hilarious.
Yeah, he is.
You
And it's
know,
worked for him.
you know what I think that the reason for his existence was. I might not be correct, but I thought that Chuck D figured that he was laying down such a subversive message
Yeah.
that he threw a clown in the mix to throw the white people off. So when they looked at it, they just saw Flavor Flav with the big clock and dismissed it while the message slipped by.
Perhaps that's true, but after the success, Chuck D has denigrated Flav for cashing in on it. When he had the little reality show with
with
the girls, right? Bridget, whatever her
yeah,
name
who was that? Was
Nielsen,
yeah, she was what's his name?
She was Stallone's lady.
Stallone's cast off.
She was with
Before
Mark
she was
Gastineau.
with Mark Gastineau first.
Right.
Well, she was with who first?
Mark Gastineau, football.
Oh, right, Mark Gastineau, right.
Yeah, but she's gone down by leaps and bounds,
Yeah, whoa. Yeah, I saw a picture of her somewhere.
I don't just mean appearance-wise. I mean that can happen to any of us.
just spiritually.
Yeah, I think the lack of respect and
she kind of went the
quality
way of China,
Yeah.
the wrestler.
yeah.
Yeah, they can easily. When I saw her wrestling Joey Buttafuoco and he just whooped her ass all over the ring, she looked like she was accepting it as something she deserved. I was like, what's wrong with this woman?
Yeah.
I think she got to the point where she'd do anything for money.
Right.
That's how she ended up with Flavor Flav.
And she made a porno too. Oh, you mean the other chick, Nielsen? Right. Yeah.
I mean, it made her famous again. For a
Yeah.
moment,
When you got those Gucci tastes and you got Target money,
Exactly.
you got to do what you got to do.
Marshall's budget, right?
Right, and then you're hanging out with people that make you feel bad because they got it going on. Like before you guys dropped by, the Kardashians were on. I couldn't stand watching it, so I put, Family Guy on. Because they weren't talking about nothing.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about that last night, how that's become news now. What these
Yeah, I don't think that back in the 60s, this kind of news would
it wasn't
been
news.
tolerated.
That wasn't news. Right?
Yeah, because we had people getting assassinated on live television. That was real reality
Exactly.
TV.
Absolutely.
Watching Oswald get his,
Right. Yeah.
get gadded by Ruby.
Jack Ruby. Right.
And today they would think that was scripted. Oh, this reality show. You know?
I mean, I've watched world news and seen the status of a Kardashian and a Kanye West be a major news item,
Yeah, over some trivial stuff.
Yeah.
Like who wore the same dress better?
Exactly.
It's like what?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Lately about the plans of America to become the new empire, because the British Empire fizzled,
Right.
and so we've had plans to take their place since Eisenhower or beyond, or before him actually. We're doing a pretty good job of it too.
Yeah.
Taking over the world. We got like about 900, almost 1,000 military bases all around the world, and we're just doing it differently. Empire without taking your territory and colonizing, but we got military bases everywhere.
Right.
It's a whole
For
new
all the
style.
wrong reasons, more importantly.
Yeah, whole new style. Then we got something called SOFA, S-O-F-A. It's an acronym that stands for some sort of a agreement that we have with the countries that we have military bases in, and if our soldiers rape your daughters, you really can't treat them badly. You have to, like say for instance in Japan and Okinawa, where the military, they're sick of the military over there, they're raping their daughters and robbing and carjacking. And if they go, they have to turn them over. If they turn them over to Japanese authorities, they have to make sure that an American gets a $4,000 calorie a day meal, where the Japanese prisoners get like a 2,500 or a 3,000 calorie meal. So they make sure that we get fed well and taken care of. That's the SOFA agreement.
Treatment for
Down to the
being caught after committing
down
a
to the
crime.
calories, right?
You got a problem.
And there's that one ship called the Kitty Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a history of racist, hierarchical bullshit going on. And they got the Mexicans and the Negroes down in the bowels of the ship where the radioactive reactors are, where you get, your balls are glowing in the dark and it's hot, right? And the higher up you go, the whiter the skin tones get, and the white people are up there, right?
Right.
And you're not even allowed to go up on the carrier deck where the planes are coming and going if you're one of the grunts from down below.
Right.
And they have insubordination, fraternization between the officers and the females, and they got problems, disciplinary problems. The crew members go ashore and rob and murder and rape people, carjack, and do whatever they want.
And sexual assault's been accepted. In the
Right.
So long.
So the Kitty Hawk is like the South on water.
On water, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
the deep South, the Delta.
Yeah, man, it's Crackerville on the Kitty Hawk,
That's sad.
and they can't seem to clean that boat up. But be all you can
enough
be.
that the discriminatory practices still do exist in the music business as well.
Yeah, that's something that I wanted to bring up because that's what I was looking at yesterday. Azalea was crying over it. She gets emotional. She's 24, so she was crying over the fact that they just take our stuff, and the message to young black kids is like, you can't have nothing and you ain't shit.
Yeah.
Whereas, the white kids get the message, you can be anything you want to be, just, take that black music over there and they'll sell more and they'll make more.
That's right.
And I think they're too young to realize that this is just a repeat cycle. Right.
Yeah.
Pat Boone versus Little Richard.
Yeah.
That was some sad shit. A wop bop, a loo bop, a womp bam boom.
Elvis versus Chuck Berry.
Yeah. The Beach Boys ripping off Chuck Berry wholesale. That Pet Sounds album that everybody kowtows to. It's like genuflex over. I'm like, I listened to it. I was like, man. So he used the studio as an instrument. Yeah. Right. I'm sure that's been done before.
Oh yeah.
The
music business is in a sad state of affairs, but sad as it is, I can't leave it alone.
Yeah, when it calls you, when it calls you, it calls you.
That's right.
The business part of anything is the bitch part.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
Yeah.
And,
Definitely.
That's been a sad commentary on the music community of Chicago. We've got a bevy of talented people here.
Yeah.
But business acumen is lacking.
Yeah.
Whereas, in contrast, you can go to the West Coast, where the talent may be marginal
But
by comparison.
But the Capitol Records
But
Tower.
the business is on the money and they get paid.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what that is. Well, I noticed living in different parts of the country, coming back to the Midwest, it always seemed to be getting the news late.
Well, I think, too, it's a mindset.
Yeah.
In the Midwest, players play, and they play to play. They're more about the music. On the West Coast, they're entertainers first.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they want to bring a product to the people, which is all in the concern for money, you know.
Right.
It's business.
That's why Hollywood's there.
Yeah. And New York is sort of a mixture of the two, you know.
Yeah. You know, the thing about New York, though, I think that it's funny. For such a world-class city, there's a certain small-town attitude there.
As there is here in Chicago
Yeah.
with the music community
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. Yeah.
You know, Chicago's funny to me. Like, when I moved back here from California, certain styles had been, like, long tossed off.
Yeah.
And I saw it in the streets here, and I was like, oh, snap, they're still wearing the shower caps on their heads?
Yeah, right.
It's like, that's like 2 years out, right? You know, Steve said, no, they ain't doing that in California. I'm like, not since, 82 or something like that.
But see, Chicago is so full of people from other places.
Yeah, true.
If not this generation, their parents or grandparents.
Right, right.
They're influenced by that. So they're offshoots of the South. You know?
And then there were certain songs that I was grooving to on the top 40 out on the West Coast. I come back here and I was like, well, how come they ain't playing this and that and the other? And they'd be like, what song you talking about?
Right.
I was like, Free World, Jesse Johnson. It's
Right.
like, no, we don't play that here. L.A., they were rocking that every 5 minutes,
Yeah.
And I come here trying to listen to tunes, and it was, and then in the Bay Area, it was totally different from
Yeah,
LA.
you know, I went to the Bay Area to play, and the mindset for live music, as opposed to DJ music, is totally flipped.
Yeah.
You know, here, the DJ music is the mainstay, and you may feature a live presentation for an hour, and then back to the cat with the ones and twos. But on the West Coast, it's just vice versa. It's live music most of the evening, and you may get a featured DJ, you know? So, again, I think it comes down to entertaining versus trying to just play and get the respect of your peers, and, you know.
Yeah. So where do you think the music business will be in 5 years?
I fear to look that far.
I didn't dare say 10 years.
Yeah.
Because I can't think that far ahead. 10 years, man. It's like, what the hell?
I don't think there'll be as many record labels, record companies, majors as there are.
Yeah.
You know.
So you think, like, what do we have left anyway? Capitol?
Warner Brothers.
I think when you
Yes.
see the likes of mega money people like Jay-Z
Yeah.
leave a major label to start his own, that's a sign of things to come.
Now, did that thing that he started actually pan out?
Oh, yeah.
Where he took those artists with him?
Number one artist is his wife.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that Lemonade. That was interesting.
She's a huge asset.
Yeah.
And he's got a few other big names, so it's got legs. It's gonna make it, I think. But
Yeah. So
many others are gonna try it and they're not gonna make it.
So the first thing I hear of a new artist is they got a clothing line, they got cologne.
Yeah, see,
They got
everybody,
a
no one wants to
cartoon
just
show.
do music anymore.
Right.
Well, they've got the capital.
They go into the door,
Yeah.
branching out. You know, they
The
wanna be
music is
corporate.
kind of like a business card to whatever else they're gonna
Absolutely.
do.
They
you
use
know?
it as a stepping
If
stone.
you've got it, go for it. I mean, if you've got the capital, you've got the money, you know?
Yeah. That's
Because
interesting.
there doesn't seem to be an interest in making a footprint in the cement of artistry, you know?
Yeah.
They more so just want to make money.
That's what the point was made on Hot 97, I think it was, where Azalea was talking, the DJ guy, whatever his name is, Ebo. He was saying that people just don't care. There's fewer people that care about the art.
That's about the artistry.
And most people just don't care.
Exactly.
You know, they're like, it's like a 5-minute fix, whatever.
There almost seems to be a a competition now to see who can make the most money.
Yeah.
If it means getting a gym shoe or getting a clothing line or getting a alcoholic beverage named after you or something.
Right.
It's just to see who can get the most bucks, you know?
Yeah, because who is that has a liquor out now?
Jay-Z's got a liquor, Snoop's got a liquor.
Yeah, everybody's got a liquor.
You know, Puff Daddy has the Ciroc or something.
Oh
like that.
yeah, it was Drake. He has.
There you go.
Yeah, he had it was a nice bottle because when I was working in design at Johnson Products, we would kill for a budget to have a custom bottle.
Right.
You know, it was like no, just that old balloon stuff.
Yeah, right.
We'd be like, no. We would go out for lunch and look at all the stuff L'Oreal had and all these other companies that had money. Yeah, I was at Johnson East and Johnson West.
Okay.
Because we used to call Soft Sheen Johnson East.
Okay.
And Johnson West, And then I was at Brainstorm downtown, which was for Soft Sheen.
I played at that, what you were calling Johnson West, the one off this Dan Ryan.
Yeah.
Right after L'Oreal purchased it, I think.
Yeah, I was over there then. I was like, I had just bought my house, and I was like, oh, well.
And the building started going down, it seemed like.
Yeah.
The weeds sprouting up, and landscaping.
What is there now?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's open. I think
it's probably closed.
Yeah.
Because half the building,
like 20 years.
Yeah, half the building was a museum, de facto museum for the 70s. I used to sometimes take a break and walk into the old part of the building, that's the north wing, and I'd find old film and audio tapes, Wantu Wazuri used.
No.
All that stuff was over there.
Daddy? That's my
Yeah, and it'd be like cutouts of people with big froze. It'd be all that Shaft and Superfly stuff. And
it seemed the building started being used for renting out to different events.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I played a couple events there. And for people that had nothing to do with L'Oreal nor Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were just renting it out. And they'd be sizable events, so they would draw personalities like you see Mary D and folks there.
There was some interesting stories going on up in there. There was one where Mr. Johnson's wife was going up some stairs in one of the south wings down there, and a guy that just got a job there didn't know who she was, and he was like, "Damn, look at all that ass."
Really?
Right. And she turned around and looked at him, and she was flattered, but he got fired.
Oh wow!
She wasn't that damn fat, was she?
Wow!
Right. What was it? What football coach Lombardi said? If you're not fired with enthusiasm, you will be fired with enthusiasm. She fired his ass with enthusiasm, but she appreciated it. And I said, "Man, you don't know who that is?" It's like. Because I used to get called into Joni's office sometimes, the daughter.
The daughter, yeah.
And she was trying to put together one of these on TV product pushes.
Oh, like an infomercial thing?
Yeah, so, and I didn't know she was playing me against another art director who was like, she had him like by the balls, and he was like, a guy named Derek Hill. He was like sweating through it. And then he would tell her something, and then she'd call me in there and say, so, what about this and that? And then I didn't.
You his ideas.
Right, and then I would say something, and then Derek go, that's, causing some friction for what I just told her.
Right.
So then I figured it out, and I said, yo, man, give me a $5, drop a dime on me with what she's doing in there.
Right.
I can, cover your end there.
Right.
And then with Soft Sheen, Terry used to drive him crazy, I used to say, it looks like you've been terrified. He'd come back from a meeting like,
Terry had a reputation for reaming folks.
Oh man, she used to ream Derek with a big drill.
Right.
He'd come back.
With the Mason's dick.
And so the joke went around the studio. Derek's been terrified again. He's over there in his office, Anyway, I'm way off subject. We're talking about the music here. But that's what editing's for. So we're talking about conversations. And how many tracks? 15?
No, and that CD is 10.
10 tracks, okay. 10 tracks.
Again, each has the name of a conversation. For instance, you got chit chat, back talk, and next talk, and the heart speaks.
No altercation.
Yeah, right. Yeah. A musical altercation, no doubt.
No Jerry Springer.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. My baby daddy.
My baby daddy.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
DNA.
You know, it was a modest attempt, and I think we've come up with quality work. You know, it wasn't hard work. And
No, it was
enjoyed
a labor of love.
It was labor of love. Yeah.
Yeah.
I cut it in my home. You know, on the little Pro Tools. You know.
So you a Mac or a Windows guy with that?
I'm a Mac dude.
Mac dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mac's a lot easier sometimes.
I'm a Mac guy. But yeah, it was actually my second CD. Prior to that, I did Smooth Jazz Christmas CD alone, and that was my flagship CD. And you can hear the new familiarity with it, you know, when you hear it. But it too is, I think, has some quality to it. But Conversations leaps and bounds better.
You know, I was just thinking what's ironic is how music used to be a local affair.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't hear it, you missed it.
Right.
Then technology came and spread the gospel.
Yeah.
And that same thing, technology, is kind of atrophying it on the vine.
Sure.
It's like, how do we think that happened? That, you know, it wasn't, well, of course, we don't know if any technology is going to save us. The jury's still out on that.
Well,
you know,
we're sad if we're hoping technology's going to save us.
Right, and I think that's one of the reasons we keep looking for existence of extraterrestrial life to prove that technology has been good to somebody.
Exactly.
They showed up to tell us, yeah, we survived it, and you will too. But you know, there's no guarantee that we're going to survive technology. And when I see it destroying certain things we love, like music, well, if everyone gets a free ride and gets a free access to music, the people that are making it are going to stop making it. And then we're going to go back, all the way back around to, well, you got to get the old ukulele out and the harmonica.
The ukulele.
The jumping flea, the ukulele.
Phone guitar and microphone.
Right, and start, you know, ham-boning your own sounds.
Acoustic, right.
It'd be going to a party, it's like, where's the music at? There's the two guys over there in the corner, you know, with the spoons.
And Jerry Smothers.
Right, spitting in his palms and stuff, you know. But,
you know, it seems to be that the dependent on technology is still evolving, you know, and
that's true.
It hasn't peaked yet, you know.
That's true.
With the sampling and the drum machines and the auto tuning and you know.
Yeah, I hate that auto
I do
tune
too.
personally,
but it's become a style.
Yeah, it's
become a style.
It's a style.
Concept. So I mean, I don't think I've ever heard. What's her name? Rihanna. I don't think I've ever heard that auto tune.
Without auto tune, you never heard of it?
Without auto tune, I don't think I've ever heard it without auto tune.
Yeah.
So it's become a market in itself.
Umbrella,
Yeah.
Yeah, that, you know. Sometimes I don't think the new musicians care about theory or history.
Yeah, well.
They don't care. You know, it's
Or
like
just quality and composition. You know, like I said, there aren't songs anymore; they're grooves.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes somebody else's groove.
Right.
Yeah,
Like I was talking to my wife the other day. We were watching something on TV, and there was some artist came on, and I used the word with quotation marks, and they were singing something that my washing machine could have done.
Right.
You know, the beat.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, wow, remember Errol Garner with Misty?
Exactly.
You know, and how that melody, the counterpoint.
Right, absolutely. You know, I used to write for a lot of these house music producers. And these cats are very groove oriented.
Right.
And I'm more of a song person.
Yeah.
And I try to sneak that into that genre. Like I put a bridge on the tune. And
Right.
stuff. Why do you always have to do that?
So what's with that ABA stuff you keep talking about? Right.
Why can't you just stay locked into that groove.
It's like, well, you know, a trance is a trance.
Yeah, I'm not a loop cat, you know.
Right. You don't always want to be in a trance.
Even the concept of how they record, they'll cut a verse and cut a chorus and just place it, you know.
Yeah, cut and paste.
I play from zero on the counter till the end of the song. You know?
Yeah, you hear the steering's going whip, whip.
Every time.
Right, yeah.
Nobody plays like that.
You get the same crash and the same kick in the same spot. You know?
And if they fart on the mic, it's gonna be in there over and
The bus
over.
goes by and vibrates the mic, you know. Damn.
Oh
And
man.
number 3.
Because you know, there's a certain I don't know, computers and machines don't have that variance that a human will have in their timekeeping.
That's the downfall of digital, but there's just some good in the digital
Yeah.
idiom. I mean, cats are able to do. I know a lot of the sounds we've used on our music. Ain't no way I could have afforded to hire the personnel. You know,
Right. Strings and whatnot. And
Ukulele.
ukulele, harmonica.
It's really helping that way.
Right. Plus, they're always there. You don't have to worry about the personal problems. You know.
And it's also aided in helping you yourself as a musician to evolve and being able to play bass lines or play a flute more so than have the sound, but actually play like a flautist. You know.
Yeah. 'Cause I remember I used to go into Richard Evans' studio in his basement and see his arrangement sheets rolled out across this long table, and I'd be looking and there'd be instruments and tape recorders around, and I'd be like, wow, he's got to take this down and hire all these guys to play all these different parts and stuff, you know.
Right.
And
so what would take 6-8 months now takes 6-8 hours.
Yep.
That's huge. So the digital 5 is very advantageous in that way, but then you got those who bastardize it with the looping and the
you know, there's
but you know what? And it's an art form. There are no rules.
Right.
You know, there's no book that says you have to do it this way. You have to do it that. And I think that's the beauty of it. To be honest, I mean, because you know, I got to do it this way, and it really comes down to what your opinion of this is. It's very subjective.
Right.
You know, it's all good. Though.
I agree with 90% of that, but still, the radio stations and the labels decide what you're allowed to have an opinion on. You know, they force feed you a lot of crap.
Yeah, they have to market it.
Yeah.
So it has to be called a thing. Like when Dizzy Gillespie's music was named bebop, he went to what's his name? Oh, all of a sudden I had a memory fart. You know, the Take the A Train guy. What was it?
Ellington?
Ellington, right. He went to Ellington and said, hey, call my stuff bebop. And he was like, oh, snap, you should have never let him call it a name. You know, now that they've defined it, you're boxed in. You know?
Right, you're labeled.
Yeah, now that's the end of bebop now, you know, so.
Fortunate for him, it became a respected label.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Because before they didn't know what to call it,
right.
You know, bebop. And, you know, whoever named jazz probably.
Who did name jazz?
And it had to happen somewhere around Satchmo's time, as far as I remember. Because remember, everybody was singing that cornball stuff like, I love you. And he
Wizard of Oz,
and he came up, what's that bop, dude, zippity bop. And everybody was like, I can't sing like that. I love you, Moon June stuff no more. It was over, you know. And he started calling people cats and all that kind of stuff.
It became a style,
a
culture.
Right. He was quite the innovator.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And in
Self-possessed
Louisiana,
guy.
he's lauded as such.
Yeah. Without him, man, the 30s, the 40s, I don't know what it would have sounded like.
Right.
And I tried telling my kids and their kids that every previous generation has looked down on the advent of their new generation's choice in music.
Right.
You know? Our parents didn't think much of rock and roll, and their parents didn't think much of of jazz. And then it goes on and on.
And what was that Jackie Gleason was famous for saying about Elvis and rock and roll? So I tell you flatly, it cannot last.
There you go.
Yeah.
I remember they were saying the same thing about rap.
Yep.
And I remember Quincy Jones came out and said, don't fool yourself, rap's here to stay.
Rap's here to stay.
Rap's here to stay.
I
He
just
also
was
spoke
some.
very highly of Prince.
Yeah.
When people thought Prince was going to be
A flash in the pan.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Prince was doing some interesting things.
Very. You know, Prince had balls.
Yeah.
He took a very less often taken leap. You know, he said, I'm going to say, the hell with the markets. I'm going to mix rock and roll with R&B. I'm going to defy all of these things they say we're not supposed to do and make it happen.
Yep. There was that story about Prince when he opened for the Rolling Stones, and he came out dressed not unlike David Bowie was doing.
Right.
But they booed him out, called him a faggot nigga, and you know all this kind of stuff. The racism in marketing,
Especially in the rock genre.
Which really is a slap in the face because the people that call it niggas gave them rock.
That's right. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just an evolution of blues and spiritual music. A very dear friend of mine is the bassist for the Rolling Stones and has been for the last 25, 30 years. However, image-wise, he's still considered a side guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you see a picture of the Stones, you don't see him.
Right.
But when you see video, he's on stage.
Like a fifth Beatle or something.
Exactly. And he's made a boatload of money, and I'm sure he could care less if he's lauded as a Rolling Stones member, you know.